I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, Joe, that's crazy. Joe, what are you talking about? I'm not necessarily saying that this is what the Eagles are going to do. But because of the coaches we have here, okay, I looked at the whole list of free agents, cornerback-wise. The whole list, okay? And really, to be honest with you, I'd rather go into the draft. I'd rather go into the draft and keep what we have, whether Avonte Maddox, Craven LeBlanc is a free agent. Avonte Maddox, obviously has had some issues. Maybe they have to move him to the inside at cornerback because I really don't trust him on the outside. I felt like he played a better safety when Ronnie McLeod got hurt a few years back, and played better on the inside than he has been on the outside. But obviously the pass rush was very on and off this year. When we did have it, it was nice, and when we didn't, it was really exposing our cornerbacks. And Darius Slay can't do it by himself. Now, Xavier Rhodes got big money with the Vikings, okay? Now, the Vikings released him and obviously became a free agent, went to the Indianapolis Colts last year. The not defensive coordinator, but the cornerbacks coach, Jonathan Gannon, really turned his career around in 1 year. Did fantastic. Xavier Rhodes only signed I think the remaining money that was on his contract was I think it was like a 1 year deal for like $3.75 million. Now you're not going to retain him for that much next year. And just to mention, Xavier Rhodes is turning 31 years old very soon before the season starts. So he will be 31. And this is where I get kind of antsy with it because he's old. Is he going to show the same play that he did when he was with the Colts last year? That's where it's going to kind of be hard to do this. He might get a little bit more money, but I'm not saying by a lot, but he's going to retain a little bit more money probably, but I'm not saying it's going to be like not even further than a mid-tier contract. The Eagles have to get younger at corner. I know this isn't the answer for it, but if you need some back end, if you need something there, something promising, something that's going to give you something for maybe a year or two, you could bring Xavier Rhodes in, which I really don't have a problem with, but I do. We need to draft a couple corners this year. I mean, we need to really legitimately get some corners in this building. But adding another veteran wouldn't be a bad idea either. So whatever they want to do with Craven, whatever they want to do with Avonte Maddox, and whoever else we have, I don't trust these other guys we have. These other corners that they've put in games because of injuries, I do not trust any of them whatsoever. I checked the whole free agent list for for cornerback. I'm not really into most of those guys at all, and you're not going to get a top name, but to get a guy that, you never know. You never know what could happen because these Colts coaches like Jonathan Gannon, that's the new DC for the Eagles now, a lot of these players did like playing with playing for Jonathan Gannon and could bring some of these guys in. You never know what could happen. So there might be a guy like Xavier Rhodes that says, I could probably get a little bit more money, but you know what? I'm playing with my favorite coach, and I want to play for the Eagles, and you know what? I'll take a little bit of a cut to what I would normally get on a different team where I don't know anybody, and I'm early at the end of my career, almost at the edge of my career right now, and I really need to be with comfortable players and need to be with a comfortable coach that's going to have my back. Okay, that's where it's really going to come in business there. So I think the Eagles, obviously the number 6 overall pick is going to be real tough because honestly you have best player available is where I think they're going to go. Obviously they're not going to go need, they're going to go best player available. So very hard to say they're not going to take a receiver again because Nick Sirianni is very interested in wide receivers. He played receiver in college. So Nick Sirianni is very focused on that group this year. So obviously with trading some players in Zach Ertz and, getting some compensation back, you could trade up, trade down the second round or whatever they want to do, third round, whatever they think they can get a good player and draft some more players there and have a little bit of a competition. Let's see if Avonte Maddox can really hold himself, to see if he can really do something and compete with some of these guys because I don't really have or trust Avonte Maddox playing on the outside this year, but I know signing a 31-year-old corner is not the answer, and it's not. But at the same time, you could get Xavier Rhodes in free agency for on a barely mid-tier contract for 1 or 2 years, and work it out to where you're not going to lose much when you get rid of him if you have to. Competing with some of these other guys in the draft. Obviously if the Eagles get Surtain and already have Xavier Rhodes, it'd be perfect, but I don't think Surtain, I don't know if the Eagles are actually going to get a corner in the first round this year. That's just me. Logically, I'd go defense, but obviously you're going to go best player available, so probably going to stray away from defense in the first round. That's just me. So you get Xavier Rhodes, another little veteran presence there that can compete with some of these other young guys, get a couple corners in the building. They have to draft like 2 corners this year at least. I mean, they got to get this secondary up and running. I mean, you never know, guys. They might trade for somebody that we don't know. They might trade for a guy that was productive last year. Rock Ya-Sin, I think, was drafted by the Colts and really hasn't played good. Didn't really play well his second year with the Colts. So Xavier Rhodes kind of saved them this year in a lot of ways because they really had nothing behind him at all in the secondary. And Jonathan Gannon really made a huge difference and could be playing for him. So to read some of this right now, it's not a lot. So 2019, Xavier Rhodes with the Vikings. So the completion percentage was 81.5 allowed, 123.8 quarterback rating allowed. Okay, by quarterbacks, which played horrible, got burnt, was horrible. Going to the Colts in 2020, 52.4 completion, almost went down like 40%. Okay, 84.6 quarterback rating allowed. Crazy. I mean, the numbers got very, very well. His coverage was a lot better in 20. I don't know. Could have been some players just get paid. Sometimes this happens. Sometimes they just need new scenery, new team. But he is old. And, from coming off a very strong 2020 season, seems like he's playing very well. But will that continue on to 2021? I have no idea. I'm not saying like I want this guy to be our main cornerback on the other side, but it is an option. That's what I'm saying. I know we have to stray away from moves like this and just getting old guys or guys that used to be good or the Nickel Roby Colemans of the world or marquee names that used to be good, and we're getting these guys too late in their careers where they can't do anything. I'm not saying I want this move to happen, but this could happen. The Eagles could have Xavier Rhodes come here for like a barely mid-tier deal. It could happen, guys. That's all I'm really saying. You go in the draft, you draft a couple corners this year, and this secondary has to be top-notch. I understand linebacker, we need more at linebacker, and for as far as I noticed, we're going to be doing a video on this soon, but the safeties, that's a whole nother story as well with these safeties. So we have no safeties, whether they bring Rodney McLeod back for one more year. Jalen Mills should be gone. Rudy Ford should be gone. Obviously, there's going to be depth, so some of these guys will be here. But yeah, there's a lot of questions to be made. But Xavier Rhodes, he could be a Philadelphia Eagle this year just because of Jonathan Gannon. So don't be surprised if Xavier Rhodes does sign with the Philadelphia Eagles. So it should be interesting. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think, and I will see you guys later. Shakes, what up, follow, slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.